Goals are a funny thing. People might have a love-hate relationship with them. Either they're too complicated or too vague. There's lots of reasons why goals fail. In this video, I want to show you the reasons why goals fail, but I also want to show you how to make goals succeed, how to get the most out of your goals. It's important to have goals to get things done. Goals give us a target to shoot at, something to aim for, something to work for and to live for. There's a lot of times we do this. Typically at the beginning of a year, we set New Year's goals. If you're still working, you set goals for work, or your manager gives you goals. If you're very driven and motivated, you might have goals about projects around the house or places you want to visit, or health goals or weight loss goals. There might be financial goals of getting out of debt or saving up money for a trip. Goals are important, but most people struggle with them because they get tripped up on some of the missing pieces of it. There's really 4 reasons why goals fail. Typically, there's a lack of clarity and focus. They're too vague, too general. You've heard of SMART goals. That's helpful, but it gets you a little bit there. I'm going to give you a little bit clearer pathway to have goals that are successful. But the first reason why goals fail is because they're not clear. They're not focused. If you don't have a really clear target to shoot for, you're not going to get there. So clarity and focus are important. There's also a lack of a plan. You might have a really clear goal of where you want to go, but you have no idea how to get there. And some people struggle with this part. They don't know the steps to get there. They know where they are. They know where they want to go. That's their goal, but they have no idea how to get there. And sometimes we need to involve somebody else to bring alongside us to help us figure out how to do that plan. Another reason goals fail is a lack of effort. You can have the greatest clarity and focus. You can have a very laid out, detailed plan, but if you don't do the work, if you don't do the hard stuff, if you don't do what it takes to work the plan, you'll never achieve the goal. So lack of effort sometimes is the reason why a goal will fail. And fourthly, a lack of accountability. Some people are self-driven, but most of us need a little bit of help. In the years that I'd work out at a gym, I did much better if I had a workout partner. In the days that I was training for races and triathlons, if I had a partner that I was going to be meeting to train with, I was much more likely to get there than doing it by myself. So lack of accountability is another reason why we fail. Sometimes people have a goal and they don't tell anybody about it. It's a secret, but that's a good way for you to have a lack of accountability, because if nobody knows about it, you're only going to let yourself down. But if you tell other people about it, you have the accountability of others helping you along the way. There are some goals that we need to set that revolve around things we should stop doing. We've been doing some things that are not helping us. They might be hurting us. And these are goals we need to stop doing. Stop smoking, stop drinking, stop eating poorly. Those are the type of the goals that perhaps you need to stop doing. There's also some goals you need to set to keep doing things. Maybe you've created a pattern or a lifestyle or a habit that's good, but if you don't make it a continued goal or a continued focus, in other words, if you get your eye off of it, you might stop doing it. So you might need to set a goal of things you need to keep doing, things that are good. And then there's some things maybe you've been lacking, and you need to have a goal for something you need to start doing. Maybe you need to start exercising. Maybe you need to start saving money. Maybe you need to start paying off a bill. Maybe you need to start planning for that trip that you want, whatever your goal is. So there's goals that involve things we need to stop doing, things we need to keep doing, and things we need to start doing. Okay, here is my framework for how to have goals that succeed, goals that are accomplishable, goals that you can do. And you can apply these components to any goal that you have. I think there's really just 3 key components to any goal. There's a desired outcome. This is what you want to do, accomplish, become. This is the what, the desired outcome. This is when I'm done with the goal, this is what it'll look like. If we win, this is what it looks like, the desired outcome. That's one part of the goal. Another one is motivation. This is why you're doing it, right? You need to be motivated. If you are not motivated, it's really hard to do somebody else's goal. If it's not your goal and you're not motivated yourself, it's really hard to do those goals. So there's a motivation behind it, okay? And the third part is the method, or the how you're going to do it. This is the plan part. And you can think about it. Some of the goals you've had that have failed, maybe you had 2 or just one of these components. But if it doesn't have all 3, you're not going to be successful at accomplishing this goal. You could have a really clear desired outcome, and you can have a really good plan to get there. But if you're not motivated to do it, you're not going to do the work to do it. It won't happen. Likewise, if you have a very clear outcome of what you want, you're really clear what your goal is, and you're really motivated, but you don't know the steps to get there, you're stuck. You can't get started. So it's important that you have all 3 of these for each of your goals that you have. So whatever goal you're thinking of, big or small, Think about these three key components as it relates to the goal and how you need to have all three of these in place so that you can be successful accomplishing what it is your desired outcome is. There are obstacles of goals. If goals were easy, everyone would do them and everyone would be accomplishing so much more. But there's obstacles that come across the way when we have goals. And for each of these key components, there are some obstacles. Self-doubt blocks our desired outcomes. We think we are not worthy of it. We self-sabotage ourselves. We think, gosh, I shouldn't even think about doing that. Why do I deserve to do that? Who am I? But at the second half of life, this is your chance to go big, to do the things you want to do, to do the things you put off doing in the first half of life. So don't doubt yourself. You might have people around you, the people closest to you, they may be the biggest critics of what your goals are. And maybe you don't tell them about the goals. You tell the people that are going to support you in those goals, because we need the motivation there. And what blocks our motivation is distraction. If we get distracted, we'll get pulled off into something else and we'll lose our motivation to keep doing it. Some goals you can accomplish pretty quick. Some goals take quite a bit of time, and they take a lot of persistence and time. And without the motivation to keep going, we give up far too quickly. So we need the motivation, and the distractions of life get in the way there. As it relates to the method or the process or the how part of this, disorganization becomes our enemy here. If you're not organized, you don't have a clear method, and you don't have it laid out, this disorganization is another form of distraction. The disorganization of our how will keep us from really taking the steps necessary to accomplish the goal. So watch out for these obstacles, the self-doubt, the distractions, and disorganization. Let's dig a little deeper into what desired outcome means. This needs to be very specific, needs to be very clear. You need to be able to articulate it, write it out, speak it, tell somebody else about it. Avoid any vagueness. If your desired outcome or your goal is vague and you can't explain it to somebody else, it's too vague. It needs to be really clear, and you need to be able to articulate it to somebody else. Write it out. It needs to be very simple. Define what the win is. Define what it looks like. Use the example of losing weight. You just can't say, I want to lose weight. Well, how much weight? By when, right? Those things aren't they're too vague. But you say, I want to lose 10 pounds before my summer vacation with my family in June, right? That's much more clear. That's more specific and clear. You need to be able to visualize and articulate your desired outcome, right? If you can't do that, it's not clear enough yet. So keep working on it. As far as motivation goes, this is more than just a hope or a wish. Hopes and wishes are not goals, because hopes and wishes are like rubbing the genie bottle and hoping it happens. We're not really motivated to do it. We're not really committed to doing the work ourselves. We just want it to be given to us. Well, that's not what motivation is. Motivation sometimes is driven by a sense of urgency. You get a bad report from a doctor and the doctor says you need to stop smoking, or you need to cut back on your sugar, or lower your salt intake, or adjust your cholesterol, whatever it is. That sense of urgency sometimes creates a motivation in us to do these kind of goals. Motivation involves a start and a finish. It's very daunting to think about something that doesn't have an ending. Like you're going to do this the rest of your life. That's one of the values of goals, is you can break it down into smaller pieces of time where it has a start and a finish. So motivation helps you get started. And I really believe that it's really harder to get started than it is to finish something, because once you've started something, you have momentum going, and you just need to keep it going so that you'll finish. But getting started is really hard. So perhaps the hardest motivation is to get started. And then the accountability piece comes in here. Remember, we mentioned one of the reasons why goals fail is because of a lack of accountability. Well, this is where motivation comes in. Sometimes we don't motivate ourselves to do it, and we need the help of a partner or a friend, somebody who's a champion or a cheerleader for us, who will encourage us when we don't feel like doing it, to encourage us to keep going. And the method itself is the strategy, the tactics, the steps, the things that you need to do, the work you need to do to accomplish the desired outcome, right? So if the desired outcome is the what, and the method's the how, and the motivation is the why, during this method part, it really needs to be strategic. You just can't hope it happens. There needs to be a plan. You don't have to get caught in analysis paralysis and over detailed and plan it. Some people do that, and their method becomes too top heavy and it falls over, and the goal fails right there. You need to have enough of a path, enough of a plan to keep making progress, right? It's not perfection, it's progress. Can you keep moving forward towards your desired outcome? So a strategy, a tactic, a step. And sometimes that's really hard for people to kind of conceptualize, right? So you may need to enlist somebody who's really good at maybe they've done it before. Maybe you're watching videos on people who've done it before, and they can tell you how to do it. or one of your accountability people or some of the people who are helping motivate you, they've done it before, or they know about it, and they can help you, advise you as you take those steps, put together strategy, tactics, and steps. But you need to have all three of these. Without these three goal components working together, we get stuck and the goal tends to not be accomplished. Let me give you an example of one of my goals. One of my goals is to visit the Bahamas by boat. Obviously, you could fly there by my own boat, not a cruise ship or anything else or an airplane. I want to go there on my own boat. This is my desired outcome. It's a big goal. And sometimes goals are really big, and it's really smart to kind of break those down into some smaller goals in the method part of it. So we'll get to that. But what's my motivation? This is a bucket list type thing for me. I love the water. I love beaches. I love boating. And as I get older, there will be a point where I can't do this myself. I will be too old to do it. So I want to do it before I get too old. So that's my motivation. How am I going to do this? Well, if I break this down into maybe 4 smaller goals, one of the first goal would be to research and learn about the Bahamas, about what kind of boat would be good for this, some cruising strategies. Just start learning more about boating, cruising, and the Bahamas. Okay, that's goal number 1. And I've been working on that, and I continue to do that. Little goal number 2, purchase a boat. Get a boat, get familiar using it. We learn by doing. And so this goal isn't just going to happen one day where I show up, buy a boat, get in it, and go to the Bahamas. That doesn't work that way, right? You need to be familiar and learning how to learn how boats work and how operating all the systems and navigating a boat and the waters and safety and all of that. And so that's the next step there. I've done that step, and so I'm still in that process, and I'm working on different boats that'll get there. The boat I have now will not get me to the Bahamas affordably, so I want to move to the next level of a boat to be able to do that. Little goal number 3: practice boat handling, boat maintenance. Those things I'm doing. As you have a boat, you do that. So I'm doing that. You need to be able to kind of service the boat yourself and take care of it. And then the small goal number 4: plan an actual trip. Get the passports. Got a passport. Understand how customs work going in and out of our country and into their country. Pick a weather window that's good for it when the jet stream is right and the weather's right, the wind and the waves are right. Manage fuel and provisions and how long I'm going to be there and how all that's going to work. And when I've done all that, then I can go, right? I can plan the actual trip and go do it. So you can use this strategy with any goal whatsoever. Whatever goal you can dream of, you can apply these 3 principles. These 3 components: your desired outcome, being very clear and be able to understand and articulate it; a motivation, what motivates you to do this, and can you maintain the motivation until the goal is finished; and then the method of how you're going to do it, the strategic part, the tactics, and the steps to do it. Put all together, you will be able to do the work and accomplish your goals. If you want to be successful in the second half of life, you need to set goals, pursue those goals, accomplish those goals. These can be things that you care about, things that you want to do, things that bring you joy and happiness. I'd love to hear what some of your goals are. Share some of the details of the goals you have in the comments. I'd love to share with you the process that you're going through and help encourage you along the way, help be part of the motivation to help you see those goals, those desired outcomes become reality.